Right, okay, so went through, we've explained it, we've done a little bit on the whiteboard, just make sure that we understand it. Next we're going to do the distinction criteria. Okay, so for the distinction criteria, we're just going to go through and start commenting our work. Okay, so just quickly tidy this up a bit. And then put a little space here, a little space there. And bear in mind, these are just the different things that you'll do in your code to help differentiate it. So you could give it a different variable. Don't forget, if you want to change it out, we do Control and F. And we can just copy and paste that name in there. And we'll just keep on clicking next. And we can find them all. And we could just go through, and we could try and replace them. I have a different version of Python, but on your version you'll have a little option where you can swap out your values for that first name, and you could just go through, tick through, and just make sure you replace them all. You can even have different names or different messages. You can even ask them completely different questions, so make sure when you go through yours, ask them different questions to make up your generated ID. The other thing you can do as well is give it a different chopping amount, so how much you're going to chop out. You could try and change that. You could do 1 to 3, 1 to 2, 0 to 5, whatever you want, and it will chop a different part of your user's input. But we're just going to go through now, and I'm going to comment separate lines. You're going to do yours differently. You're just going to comment a little paragraph at the very top of this section, but I'm doing it differently. I'm going to go through each line so we know nice and clearly. So the first bit, this is used to store the user's first name into the variable. And then convention is going to be printed out. And then here we can say the same. We set the first name, it's going to be their surname. Mention here, this will print out a variable. Okay, first name. You can do the same for that one. And then this bit is where we're giving a message to our user. We are adding our strings together and printing out a welcome message to our user. Okay. Another way of saying adding our strings together is concatenate. And what we can mention here is once the user has inputted their values, it is stored into variables, and we are splicing parts of it. Okay, so that keyword we're doing there is splicing. We are splicing a bit of their name, and then once it is spliced, we are going to store it in a brand new variable. We might be missing something here, so just one sec, so we can double check. This part here is what we're missing. Okay, so we can paste this into here, where we declare our random number. So we can say this will be used to generate a random number between 0 and 9999 because of our range function. And this is where it's mentioning the range, okay, and this is where we've imported the random library from Python to generate a random number for the program. Okay, and there we have it. I've done this, broke it down into separate lines. What you can do is just the very top of this section, for this area, we can just say nice little mini paragraph, and you can explain it here. Okay, so it's used to make a random ID. And then make sure you just go into your own words, and this is where you're going to type everything out. And there we have it. That's our distinction criteria for this section, and we're going to move on to the next bit.